It's time for Overtime on ANF. In this episode, we discuss the Atlanta Dream off to a red-hot start. Where does Alicia Gray sit in the W's MVP race? And then to the Braves and two struggling players in Brian Snitker's lineup. Can Ozzie Albies and Michael Harris II turn it around as Jurickson Profar nears his return? Enjoy. All right, Overtime on ANF Overtime family. I just popped your eardrums here. We have our photographer, producer extraordinaire, Lee Smith, joining us. How you been, Lee?
Good. Right into baseball season.
They call this the dog days, though.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be the
NBA just wrapped.
Slow time.
Yeah,
the NBA just wrapped, but all eyes now on Major League Soccer, the Club World Cup, and of course the WNBA. I'm locked in on the W right now, and of course the Atlanta Dream off to one of the best starts in club history under Karl Smesko. 10-4 on the year, only a half game back of the Liberty, who really they probably should have beat already.
Yep.
You've been around this team for a little while, and obviously we'll talk a few more numbers here in a moment, but just your general vibe around this team right now in the first year under Smesko and how they're playing currently.
I mean, they're second in the East to the Liberty, who they should have beaten, but they're looking good. They really are. They're looking a lot better than they have been in previous years, and honestly, since I've been here, this is the best they've looked.
The best they've looked. I think Alicia Gray's play has a lot to do with that. Give you some more numbers on that. She's off to a career best start. 21.4 points per game, 5 rebounds, 4.6 assists. I tweeted this out a few hours ago. At this point, we're recording this on Tuesday, June 24th, 2025. But she currently leads the W in offensive win shares, overall offensive efficiency, as well as win shares. So, look, she's in the MVP conversation, and I know a lot of people have been talking about Ryan Howard and maybe where she should be. Smesko has unlocked the offense, and then more generally, he's also unlocked Alicia Gray's potential, in my opinion, as well.
And the crazy part is when you have Howard going and Alicia going, and then you add in Bree Jones on the inside with Brittany Griner. I mean, how do you stop that?
Yeah,
because it seems like it's somebody every game. Usually it's a 3-point shooting from either Ryan or it's Alicia, and then Pow Tahina has come out of nowhere, man. She's looking good too. So when you can get that kind of production off the bench, that's pretty deep.
You mentioned the three-pointers. The Dream are currently first in the W in three-pointers made, second in overall scoring, and it's really cool to see a team that not only is playing well. There's no doubt that they're playing well. Yeah. They're having fun. They're sharing the rock. They're taking threes. Pow's taking a lot of threes. I believe she's had third time in the last 4 games that she scored 16 points off the bench. That's a great add to the second unit. But look, they're having fun, man. I don't think that we're talking enough about just, they're doing the water bottle thing after the interviews. I saw a TikTok video of Tahina wearing Nas Hellman's jersey, and they're goofy. They're fun. They're relaxed, and it just seems like they enjoy being around each other.
Well, you know what helps all that?
Winning.
W's in the W. That's what helps. I mean, look, if they were losing, it wouldn't be like this. But guess what? They're winning, so it doesn't matter. But the fact that they're so deep, they play really good offense. Their defense has been better too. That's probably the biggest turnaround for me.
Yeah.
Their defense this year, it's a market difference from last year and in the past, but. Karl Smesko got them moving in the right direction, and he said that the one thing he took away from the season so far is that they have been in every game in the fourth quarter by possession.
Yeah.
So they're not getting blown out, and if they just eliminate a mistake here, mistake there, they could easily be undefeated.
Had a 17-point lead in that Liberty loss. I think another thing that stood out to me from hearing Karl Smesko talk, because we're kind of giving him this like mad scientist thing right now, where he's like brought over this formula that's allowed them to kind of unlock themselves. The last thing that he said that stood out to me, and he talks a lot, they all talk a lot, just league mandated.
Yeah.
They were still searching for their identity early in the year. They were searching for what is the way that they win games, very generally. How do they impact winning? And to me, very clearly right now is they like to shoot a lot of threes.
Yep.
They're a team that's very connected on and off the court.
Yep.
And they're not going to get blown out. To your point there, they're always going to be in the ball game. And it reminds me of the NBA season just finished. The Pacers. The Pacers were a team that I can think of maybe 2 or 3 games in the playoffs that they just weren't in, that weren't competitive. Other than that, they're scrappy, they claw, they fight, they're on the offensive rebounds. And the crazy thing is, another thing before I pass it back to you here, they really haven't gotten the BG effect yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
I don't know if I've seen a game
Not yet.
where it's like, and I know she was hurt. It was kind of some things. They were doing some load management type stuff. But the 3 names that we've mentioned that have made a big impact, Alicia Gray, Ryan Howard, Tahina Powell, we're still waiting for one of the greatest players in WNBA women's basketball history to really put her stamp on this team as well.
That's true, and she will at some point. It'll happen. They've still a long season.
I agree.
A lot can happen, positive or negative, but she will at some point make her presence felt. Now, I mean, she's one of the greatest of all time for a reason. It just depends on how that kind of manifests, how it actually displays. But I think I'm not even sure if she's leading the team in rebounds. I think Brianna Jones might be, but the fact that BG doesn't have to come in here and be like that, just tried and true number one option.
Everything relies on you.
And, it's either make or break for the whole team. That kind of says a lot about your depth. And I mean, and the fact that, she's probably a 4th option offensively.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Maybe definitely like at best 3rd.
Yeah.
So, that's, and especially with a coach who's new coming in and installing their offensive system where they want to go, they want to push the tempo, shoot transition threes. It just bodes well for them that she doesn't have to, because what year is she in? I'm not even sure. Has it been
12th year?
It's been over a decade.
It's definitely been over.
And as good as you might once have been, there's going to be a little bit of drop off.
She's on the back half.
So
I think maybe that was.
It's understandable. It's understandable. I mean, look, but they're not asking her to come out and be a dominant one. She doesn't have to be anymore.
No.
But if she can just block shots and affect the other team's offense and make them take terrible shots, and get some rebounds and kicks it out, gets threes, everyone's happy.
I think maybe that's the sell. Hey, come here. We're building a true team.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be on you to do everything. Ryan Howard kind of talked about that in the training camp and preseason portions of it. Is like she felt a lot of weight and burden in previous years to kind of be, hey, it's all on me. Let me do it all. Let me try and generate offense. Let me find where I'm going to be. And now it's like, no, just play your role in the offense. The ball will find you, and you'll get your points in the rhythm and flow of the offense. It's been really cool to see. A couple more Dream notes before we pass it to do some Braves chatter. 110 points per 100 possessions for the Dream this year. It's the most ever. I know it's small sample size. They haven't finished out the complete year. But even in what it's been 10 and 4, 14 games, they'll play their 15th game tonight. That's still a huge advantage. I mean, you're essentially generating and they're averaging 77 possessions per game, which was the same as 2024. So it just shows me that they're being more efficient with the possessions they get. They're cashing in.
They're doing more with the same. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, offensive efficiency that's really the name of the game. If you can make shots, make all the shots you take, guess what? It's really hard to lose.
Let's do some predictions here. They're 10 and 4.
Oh, okay.
They're 10 and 4 now.
Ooh, predictions. Let's go. All right.
Are they the best team in the Eastern Conference come the All-Star break? They're only a half game back of the Liberty now. I believe those two teams will play again.
They will play again very soon. You know what? And the Liberty have to come here. So I actually think they are. I think they are. I really do think they're the best in the Eastern. Now, I don't know if they can beat Minnesota. Mm-hmm. Minnesota, the Lynx are probably the best team in the NBA this year.
Yeah.
But to even be top 3 is a huge, huge positive change. So I think it's all pointing up from here. I mean, because when you get into the playoffs, I mean, it's honestly anybody's game.
It's a half-court game as well. Maybe that's when BG starts to shine.
Yep.
But the Dream off to a very hot start. Let's take a quick pause and talk about a couple players who aren't as off to a hot start for the Atlanta Braves. We'll discuss Michael Harris II and Ozzie Albies right after this. Back in on Overtime on ANF. ANF Overtime, Lee Smith, Aaron Ladd talking some Atlanta Braves now as they are in the midst of just this gauntlet of NL East opponents, have been playing well. You know, honestly, I saw a tweet earlier today. I wanted to get your thoughts on this. You know, just scrap out the rest of the schedule for the Braves and just play the Mets the rest of the way.
Might as well.
Don't want to play the Marlins anymore. Don't want to play the Rockies. You never
the Nationals. Nope. Just the Mets.
Just the Mets. The Braves 4-0 against the Mets as of this.
I mean, why not? You're undefeated against them. Makes sense, right? If you're a Braves, you know.
What looms for these Atlanta Braves is kind of a conundrum which they weren't expecting. Jurickson Profar obviously missed 80 games due to the PED suspension. Your biggest offseason acquisition was supposed to be your rock in the outfield and supposed to be a guy that consistently gets on base for you. His suspension is coming to an end. He will be eligible to be reinstated on July 2nd. And could he potentially take the place of another Braves mainstay? It's Michael Harris II, who has really struggled this year. And I want to give you some more numbers before I pass it off to you. 24-year-old defensive standout, struggled at the plate this season, batting .223 as of this taping, with a .585 OPS despite starting all 76 games for the Braves to this point, or 77 as of now. He's batting .178 for the month of June. And also hadn't been drawing walks. Has not drawn a walk. Drawn a walk. Jeez, my grammar's terrible. Since May 18th.
Yeah.
It hasn't been good. So what do you do here, Lee? You know, I want you to put your managerial cap on here. You're Brian Snicker.
Man.
You're Lee Snicker.
All right, Lee Snicker. Let's go.
Lee Snicker. What are you doing? What are you doing? We haven't even gotten to yet. What are you doing with Jurickson Profar?
Okay, well,
Michael Harris
here's the problem. You have so many other areas that you can't just afford to look at one specifically, because baseball, one move affects everything else.
Correct.
And when you have 3 or 4 problems at the plate, it's not as easy to deal with those issues than just having one, obviously.
Correct.
Now, when Jurickson comes back, I think he's gonna be in left field like he normally is. He'll assume his normal spot, left field. Yes. I think Verdugo and Eli White, one of them is gonna have to be sent down.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll look at the options.
I don't know which one. I don't know. I might throw Eli White down and then keep Verdugo, but because he's got more experience at the professional level. But honestly, at that point, whatever. So left field, Profar. I think you got to keep Money Mike in center field.
Defensive?
I think you have to.
Okay.
I mean, if he could just get more walks, not even hit the ball. If he could just get more walks and then steal some bases, like, that's all you need.
Sure.
Defense, because everyone else can hit for the power and the home runs. But he is struggling so bad right now.
I don't know if this is there was a conversation, is this a AAA stint, or is this like just take a couple of days off? Where are you sitting on that? Because clearly he's not going to hit his way out of this. And I think the Braves and Brian Snicker are so much, and Alex was kind of this, that he's like, he doesn't like change. He likes to just give guys the ability to play themselves out of slumps.
But, man, I just – dude, it's been 77-game slump. That's the problem. And you can't afford, because you're already in this – what are they back now? 10,
10 and
12?
a half back of first. Yes,
10 and a half? Okay.
As of this tape.
All right, so
– remember, you're in this gauntlet now where you can get hot and you flip it very quickly.
You can because most of them are division matches. Yeah. So, yes, that does help, but still – the Phillies are hot. I don't see you catching them unless you do something. You got to change something.
It's not even the All-Star break yet.
I know, but still, you got to have something going in a positive direction. Your pitching staff has held together really well this year. Actually, probably better than you thought. And offensively, it's worse than you thought. So there's always a balance. The problem is, once you get through Money Mike, then you talk about Ozzy Albies.
Yes.
And it's not much better.
It has not been much better going to Ozzy Albies. Let's talk a little bit about him before we finish with Jerks and Profar. Ozzy Albies, the veteran second baseman, has not hit a home run in the last 23 games and is slashing just 183, 272, and 244, which are his lowest marks since 2020. Currently in the 11th percentile for hard hit rate.
Okay.
Overall. So, I mean, really, none of the numbers are great.
No, they're not.
And it's kind of the same thing with Money Mike. It's like, do you...
At some point, someone's got to play in the field, though. You know, someone's got to be in the batting order.
The backup second? Do they have a backup second baseman?
No. Eli White, I guess. He would be your utility infielder, right?
I don't love that.
I don't either, but it is what it is.
It's crazy calling Ozzy a veteran also because he's only 26.
Yeah, but he's been with this franchise for his entirety of his major league career. So, yeah.
I think these guys are going through slumps, but you can't give up on them. And they're signed to
no,
long-term
you
deals.
can't give up on them. I mean, but what do you do? Do you just say, hey, take like 3-4 days off? Just don't talk about baseball. Don't think about baseball. Just go to the movies, hang out with your people, and just get your mind off of it. And then hopefully you come back refreshed, relaxed. But when you have Michael Harris, Ozzy Albies, there are Ozuna's kind of in out. Riley's had a rough go of it. Well, they've all had a rough go at some point. Olsen had a streak where he couldn't touch a ball.
I think Drake Baldwin's the only one that's played.
Drake, and well, of course Ronald. I mean, if Ronald wasn't here, I don't. It would look a lot bleaker without him and Baldwin. So that, I mean, okay, so when you have Sean Murphy in the lineup every day, and then you have Ozzy, and then you have Michael, and then you have Nick Allen. I mean, that's got, but it's got to be one of the. Well, no, I mean, but like statistically, like look here, Nick Allen in the field is awesome. I wouldn't move him no matter what he hits. Shortstop is a place where, yeah, but you can lose games for sure.
It's true.
To me, Nick Allen is. I don't know. I think shortstop is more of a valuable player. Yes, I think it's definitely a glove first. I mean,
I've had glove first for second.
having consistent power at shortstop at the plate is just. I mean, it's a bonus.
I agree.
It's a luxury. Not many teams have that.
Let's talk Jerkson really quick before we get out of here.
Okay.
He's going to come back. He's going to play from July 2nd on to what Braves fans hope is a potential playoff run. Is that taking ABs away from a guy who can contribute? Because we're talking about two guys in Michael Harris II and Ozzy Albies who will be in the playoff line, who will be in the postseason lineup.
It is, but you got to get there first.
Are you going to insert Jerkson, a guy who is not going to be able to contribute in those moments just so that he can help get you there? Like,
yes.
It's a little bit of a catch-22.
It is a catch-22, but you can't get into the playoffs unless you have a superior record, and they do not have that now. You have to get to the playoffs to worry about the playoffs. So, I would throw him out there his first possible game he could be back.
July 2nd.
And you roll with it. I mean, he was brought here to do a job. He messed up, and he paid for it. So once his sentence is done, you got to get him in the lineup. I mean, as bad as it is now. I mean, you just can't. You can't continue night in and night out to have 3 or 4 holes. You have to minimize that.
And I think all will be forgiven as far as how the fan base views him.
Hey, man, if he comes back and he hits 300 and
yeah. You know, it's a shame what happened, but
I mean, he doesn't even need to hit home runs. He just needs to make contact and get on base. That's it. That's it. Score runs. Score runs. If he's a leadoff, and then you've got Ronald Acuna right behind him. That's more chances to get double runs instead of Ronald just hitting a solo home run every time he gets up.
I agree.
So they just need base runners at this point. They need base runners and they need scoring. That's you, but you have to consistently hit. You can't just go up there and strike out. I mean, Michael just sometimes looks lost. Like it's.
Let's make our predictions before we get out of here. Do the Braves make the postseason in 2025?
Oh.
Yes or no answer?
No.
I'll go yes, just so that we can have something on the record of us being on opposite sides of this.
Good.
Lee says no. I'll say yes. I appreciate y'all for sticking with us and rocking with us to the end of this episode. This has been Overtime. ANF Overtime. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Lee Smith, any parting words?
Hopefully the Braves pull it together.
Oh, you didn't believe.
Hopefully, man. I don't. It's a tough hill. It's a tough hill, man.
Y'all be easy. We'll see you next time.